To those that live in Italy, how is the situation right now with coronavirus and lockdown? Currently watching a university lesson from my bed, but my father went to work this morning. I'm in a region where the lockdown started officially today, so it's all pretty new. Let's hope people don't storm the grocery stores. High school student here. Schools are simply closed and the TV is full of ads about washing your hands and avoid contact with other people. I'm a nurse student in Italy. Right now I can't go to the university. I can't go to work. We shouldn't go out unless it's a necessity. So basically we need to stay home and finally finish our Netflix list. It may sound pretty cool for the first few days, but after a while it gets pretty depressing and boring. I got so bored that I cleaned everything at home. Basic Italian uni student with bad English here. Basically in the past we used to cough to cover up a fart. Nowadays we fart to cover up a cough. I have a daughter living in Serrano, but she works in Milano. She is housebound, on lockdown. Her courses are being done via Skype. Her employer has asked her not to come to work. She is not allowed to leave her house unless it is an emergency, which I hope never happens. She says there has been quite a bit of panic buying at the supermarkets. All the restaurants are pretty much empty. However, they are allowed to be open between 6 AM and 6 PM. People who are seated should have at least a 1 m distance between them at restaurants. Tourist areas, Egg Duomo in Milano, are devoid of almost anybody. All school and universities remain closed. All sporting or any kind of events have been suspended. Ski resorts are closed. The same for cinemas, theaters, discos. All church services have been suspended. Whilst the measures may seem extreme, Italy has been the hardest hit worldwide besides for China, so it's necessary to curb travel and cultural activities to stop the spread of the virus. I finally have time to mod Skyrim. Why did it get so bad in Italy, anyway? It seems so disproportionate and random that Italy of all places got slammed by this disease. A few factors were against Italy that made it such a hotbed. It is a massive tourist destination. Italy has one of the largest tourist industries in the world, ranked 5 by number of visits in 2018. It attracts food tourists. Its wine regions are popular. It has stunning beaches. And then we have the cultural aspect, whether that's the Roman ruins or medieval or Renaissance architecture. This means that Italy was pretty much sure of getting some people who were infected. Once the infection started, Italy has another key factor. It has one of the oldest populations on Earth. Third if we don't count tiny places like Monaco or St. Miquelon. This means that it is extremely sensitive to an infection that disproportionately affects the elderly. For a benchmark, the median age in Italy is 7 years older than the US. As such, the amount of people who will die require medical attention for this disease is higher. Italy's response following initial infection was one of the most comprehensive and aggressive of any nation outside of Asia, if not the most. This means massive amounts of testing. As such, the numbers are a relatively accurate representation of the actual rate of sickness in the country. Places like the US could very well have as many, if not more, people currently ill with coronavirus, but no one knows. Some countries seem to be applying a strategy of just ignoring it, which is extremely effective at keeping the reported number of confirmed cases down, but doesn't necessarily do much to deal with the actual number of people infected. So we know why it was extremely likely that Italy would get caught up in this. We know why it is having such a drastic impact on Italy and its health services. And we know why Italy's numbers are so high. I'm a university student, and since last week we have been doing lessons via Microsoft Teams or Google Classrooms. I don't really like these methods, but it's the only alternative. So, there's a fair amount of psychosis between a big chunk of the population. Supermarkets have been raided overnight. We are advised to not leave our houses unless it's necessary, but you can fill a form on your own to certify that you need to go to work. So basically everyone is running around without a real examination of that form because literally anyone can do that. The only thing that has been really impacted by this is nightlife and sports, since every league of every sport is suspended until April. For a couch potato like me, it's awesome. I can watch my uni lessons online and in my free time play a ton of video games or work out a little bit. Also, I think we're allowed to leave and get some fresh air. So except for the deadly virus thing, everything is okay. I'm Italian but live abroad. Currently my brother is in one of the high risk zone in the north. He works at the university as a researcher. Today he went to work and the laboratory was empty. Starting from tomorrow the uni told him to stay at home and that the structure will be temporarily closed. He was planning an exchange with the laboratory in Ireland for April, but I think it's cancelled. He's worried of course and a bit bored too, but he understands that the situation is critical and that we have to give our contribution to avoid the spreading. My cousin is in Bologna where the situation is surreal. According to him, no one is on the streets and the supermarket got assaulted multiple times from people concerning that they would have run out of food, which is not going to happen since supplies are guaranteed. My parents live in a small city in the south where only 4 cases were registered in the entire region so far, so they are not much concerned. But they are taking precautions if the situation will get worse and they are trying to stay at home when possible. Luckily their jobs are not at risk because my mother works in public administration and my father can work on remote. I live in Germany instead. Yesterday I went to a pharmacy and I could get a couple of face masks just in case. The ladies there understood from my accent I wasn't German, so they asked me where I was coming from. As soon as I said I was Italian they jumped away. I felt like I needed to specify I was living here and had no contact with Italy since December. That felt bad. Right now I'm in my office in Tuscany, 20 miles away from my home. This morning at 7 AM we hadn't any problem moving around, but I don't know how things will evolve outside my workplace. There are a lot of different informations about what you can and what you can't do from all the media, so I'm here hoping to not getting sick and still be capable at least to move to home tonight and maybe came back to work in the next days. Some say life goes on like always, others say everything is compromised. I'm just here, waiting for things to develop. I have friends in northern Italy quarantined in their homes, my mum in hospital working with face masks and generally people freaking out. They say grocery shopping will be guaranteed, so overall I'm not even worried about it. Maybe as a chance to have some days off and enjoy my home and some games. I live in the heart of the Lombardy region. All my family has it and my granduncle died. People just stay home and that's it. There is not much to do and shops are closed. My uncle is in the hospital with a high fever. His wife got it as well but she is home as her symptoms are milder. My cousin is taking care of her and miraculously she is fine. However her grandpa died and she couldn't even go to visit him. Her grandma is sick as well and she can't see her either and she can't see her dad. Hospitals are closed. The available hospital beds in intensive care have run out and doctors are making tough choices for who to try to save, which is terrifying considering most of my family is old and they might not get a bed. Doctors are overworked and tired and since I know many people that work in the hospital, they are sharing with me these gruesome pics of people recovered in the intensive care unit. They are intubated and it just is a sad view. People keep saying it's just a flu. Yes sure, but a flu without having had a vaccine can be quite dangerous. The youngest person I know that has it. He is in his 40s and has had 40 degrees Celsius temperature for 2 weeks straight and counting. Don't catch it. It's really not fun even if your immune system is strong. Trust me on this. I have seen the repercussion on my family firsthand. No church is open or public event is held. Since Italy is primarily populated by old people, we are used to see the streets being empty and everything being quiet. Right now is just quieter. They couldn't even hold the funeral for her grandpa. My grandma woke up sick and I truly hope she has something else. So many people in my city have it and yet they keep going around the city and spreading it. Incredible. Thank you all for the well wishes. Hopefully my most immediate family won't catch it. Wow everyone. Thank you so much. Stay safe and be prepared. Keep old people inside. I live in Verona. I'm a 19 years old living alone because my mother and my father took it in Milan and for the first time I'm home alone for a month. Pretty nice though. I play GTA 5 with my friends like the old days. Doing some indoor workout and experimenting with cooking. I'm becoming a good chef. The school is quite annoying but it's okay. I wake up at 7:30 and at 8 AM I start a 5 hours straight in front of my laptop for online lessons and then I go cooking my lunch. I don't go out if not to buy some food and maybe some cigarettes because the situation it's not good. There is no space left in the intensive therapy so if I get really sick, they would have to remove someone to save me since I would have better chance of surviving. This is why I almost never go out. Once a week. I don't want to be the reason for someone's death. I'm a final year medic and I'm graduating on Thursday over Skype. I am a doctor who works at one of the largest hospitals in Rome. The situation seems much worse than reported in the news. We are scared, but we continue to go to work for a sense of responsibility by turning. We do not have suitable safeguards for our protection, such as FFP3 masks. I am 14 and live in Italy. It's not bad. I don't have to go to school, but I still have to do homework, but it's not too much. We will have virtual lesson this week. I have finally time to read Plato's Republic, and I can finally get better at doing the Rubik's Cube. I have a lot of free time, so I joined the Conlanging Discord to learn something new. This will last until the 3rd of April and I'm really happy about it. South Italy here. I'm waiting for the virus to spread as in northern Italy, if not worse. A lot of idiots rushed south to their mommy after the government declared the region of Lombardy a red zone. And here the people seems to not understand the situation. Yesterday morning there were a lot of people strolling around not caring about what's happening. Yesterday night the Prime Minister declared all Italy red zone. And a lot of people rushed to 24/7 stores to buy food. I decided to stay at home for at least a week. But my parents and the parents of my friends are going around the city like it's not their problem. There will be another infection peak here in the southern Italy in a few days. If you're a good citizen and you don't have a job, it's hard to tell. For example, I only poke my nose out of the house to go to the grocery store, and I can tell you there is no big problem there. Sometimes there are empty shelves, but it's not something surreal. Though if you look at the streets, there are so few people, some wearing masks, with no social interaction. It's weird. And the fact you don't have to go to school or university, and you can't even move out normally, makes this whole thing feel weird as F. It's like time has stopped. I'm a student who lives in Emilia-Romagna. Schools have been closed for 3 weeks. There is no one hanging out. Everyone is cooped up in their houses. NGL. This looks like a post-apocalyptic scenario. People are starting to have relatives with the virus. My aunt, for example, has the virus. In every town there are a few infected. We can't move from a town to another unless we have a specific permission. For example, we can if we have to go to work. Every day we use Google Meet to make online video calls with our teachers and classmates. So we keep studying and doing our programs even if we are closed in our houses. Many people are terrified, while many are chilling way too much, especially in the southern regions, because the virus has just started spreading there, while here in the northern regions there are already thousands of infected. I'm in the Florence airport right now trying to get back home to the US. I've been living here for 6.5 months studying abroad. I was supposed to stay till June, but my study abroad program got suspended and my student visa shortened. It's insane right now, and that's a massive understatement. I couldn't make it to the airport in time cause Florence is in lockdown as of last night. No one is allowed to leave home except to go to work. So you can imagine how difficult finding a taxi was. I missed my flight and spent 4 hours on the phone with United, F them, trying to get my flight rescheduled for the 3rd time. Us study abroad students have been living at the edge of our seats. One email from the Italian gov suddenly changes everything. It has been a really stressful, chaotic, emotional couple weeks for both myself and my friend.